it's Alison Solving with Stamp Crazy with Alison, and today I wanted to show you how to create a reflection technique using this brand new stamp set from the new 2017-2018 annual catalog from Stampin' Up. It's called This Little PIggy, and it is adorable. Don't you think it's adorable? Look at this one with the little wings on it. It's so cute. I really like this saying, Hogs and Kisses, but I wanted to create more of a anniversary or Valentine's or I love you kind of card, and so I needed two pigs, and I wanted to use the same pig, so I have to use a reflection technique. So I'm going to show you how to do this with one stamp. I started off with a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to bring in my stamp. Here it is. I don't put labels on mine because I like them to stick to my acrylic block really well, but somebody said that chapstick works to keep them on the block with your label, so I'm going to try that. So I'm going to put a piece of sticky Post-it note across the words because I don't want them to show right now. And I'm starting with light gray, a smoky slate, which is light. I'm going to ink up my pig, and I'm going to remove this. That way I've omitted the words, so they're not going to have ink on them because I don't want to stamp that right away. So let me bring this in, and I'm going to stamp my pig right here. There he is. And now I want a matching pig. So what I'm going to do is put a Post-it note on here again because I don't want to cover up the words. I do reuse these as soon as they're dry, but I don't want to get any ink on my hands from the Post-it, so I'm just using a new one for now. Now I'm taking a darker color, so this time I'm going to use Basic Gray. And you'll see why I'm using a darker color in a second. So Smoky Slate for the first one, and then I'm going to bring in, remove that, sorry, and I'm going to bring in an imaging sheet. This is from the Stamp-A-Majig, so just using that little clear plastic. You could use window sheets too, actually. And this is there's a rough side and a smooth side, and I'm stamping it on the smooth side. Okay, so there he is. There she is. So bring this guy in. And now all you have to do is take your imaging sheet and turn it over. So now that your pig is facing down, and then just line her or him up so that their little noses touch. So I'm going to put that down like so. Okay, and then I'm just going to rub carefully, and I'm not moving my imaging sheet. That's the hardest part. Just keep, I've got my hand over on this piece, so it's not going to move. I'm just transferring it. So once I feel like it's on from here onto the paper, I can carefully lift this up, and there they are kissing together. Isn't that cute? So now we're going to color them in. I'm going to start with one of our brand new colors. This is powder pink. So I'll just squeeze the lid so that the ink is transferred to the top, and I'm just going to take an aqua painter and color them in. So you don't want too much water because this is a piece of Whisper White, and so too much water and you end up with a bit of a mess. So I'm not going to take a lot of time to do this. I'm just giving you an idea on how to do this. If you were doing it, you would probably take a little more time. You could also use shimmery white paper. It is a bit thicker, and it gives you a bit more, it's a bit more forgiving when you're watercoloring because it doesn't pill as easily. Okay, so that's the powder pink. I'm going to let that dry for a sec. I'm going to actually use Sweet Sugarplum for their snouts. Now I don't want it to be too dark, so I'll show you. I'm just going to mix it and then kind of mix it over here so it's a little bit lighter. So hopefully you can see that. I don't want it to be full-blown Sweet Sugarplum, but I want their little snouts a little bit darker, and I think I'll do their little feet. And lastly, I'm going to bring in Blushing Bride just to add some accents. So let this dry, and between colors, all you have to do with your aqua painter is just is just brush it off, and then it'll be clear and you can ready to go to the next color. So I'm just using this one for a little bit of accent. So around the ear here. No wonder they're in love. They look just like each other, right? Give a little bit of his tail. So you would take a little bit more time probably to just make these little guys perfect, but just add some accents. And then when you're completely done coloring them like that, I thought they looked a little bit too perfect. So a pig would kind of be rolling around in the dirt. So I'm going to add a little bit of crumb cake. And all I did for that was take one of our daubers, and I'm just going to ink it up. And that's a bit too dark. So I'm going to just add a little bit of dirt. So that's how you color the pigs. Now I want to add the words below here. So I'm going to bring my stamp back in. And do you remember when I omitted, I used a Post-it note to omit the words? Now I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to omit the pig. So I'm going to do the Post-it note over the pig this time. And with Berry Burst, which is another gorgeous new color, I'm going to ink up just the words. And stamp them just below my pigs, like so. And then using the same Berry Burst, this is such a gorgeous color, I'm going to add the little hearts. Sorry, they're not hearts, they're lips. Aren't they cute? And then when that ink is dry, I went and added some Stella, because I basically add Stella to everything. I'm in love with Stella. I just added it to the lips just to make it stand out a little bit more. I should have let them dry a little bit. So don't make my mistake, let them dry a bit. Okay, so that's how to make that part of the card. Now let me show you some other tips or some other things that I used. I embossed a piece of Berry Burst. Now I used a brand new embossing folder called Sparkle. I really like this. It's sort of like a star, but it's got more sides. I think it's kind of cool. I hope you can see that. So all you're going to do is put your piece of cardstock in your folder and put a clear plate on top, a clear plate on bottom, and run that through your Big Shot. And so the last thing I want to show you is how to get this thin strip of burlap ribbon. You start with our burlap ribbon like this, okay? And then you cut off a piece, a longer piece. And then all I did was cut off the selvage, which is this little edge. Okay, now don't throw that out, you can use that. And sometimes you just don't want a big, thick piece of burlap. Need something a little bit lighter. And I like little frayed edges, okay? So cut off my selvage, and that's what I'm going to get. I could use that piece. If I want to use a different thickness, then I just pull. So you just start with this here, and you just pull these, and they come off individually. Isn't that cool? And then I just tie that around in a knot. So let me bring in the finished card again. So we've got the card base, which is crumb cake, and then we have the piece of Berry Burst that's been embossed. And then I mounted the stamped piece on a piece of the pink powder cardstock, which is the new in color. I'll have the dimensions on my blog. Thanks so much, and I hope you'll try this reflection technique yourself. Have a great day and happy stamping.